or Dr. Kiva.
Dr. Kiva Davis. She's getting all formal on us this morning. How are you, Dr.
I'm good.
Kiva?
So now when I go into the clinic, I say Dr. Kiva.
I love it. And that's more, to me, I like to call my doctors by their first names. Dr. Fred, Dr. this.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little more, familiar. And
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I bet your patients appreciate that too.
They do.
Yeah, they do. So
I give them a choice. I've been good.
We missed you last week.
Last week I had it was allergies.
Okay, thank God. Yes.
And so in the time of Corona, you don't want to go places and start coughing and sneezing, and everybody's like, "Oh my God!" So I was like, let me just stay and take care of that.
Because people would have been talking,
Exactly.
That. So,
exactly.
And I knew you didn't have Corona because you were still bopping all around town. And I don't think you could bop around town if you can't breathe.
And I was taking my own temperature.
Yeah, right on. Did you ever get a fever? Okay, so that explains a lot.
So how was your weekend?
It was good. I did, as usual, I didn't do a whole lot. I'm still recuperating from having a little trip last week, which was nice.
That was nice.
I needed it. I really did need that. But all I did was be flabbergasted by so many bizarre news articles. So much weird stuff going on out there.
Yeah, it is a lot, especially with the fact of me staying in with Corona, thinking that something's going on there, and then to find out now the vice president's people around him are having Corona, and he still wants to go out and campaign.
I heard that at least five that they're reporting of his staff members, including his body man who's right with him all the time.
Right.
Have it now. He's infecting everyone. And on top of that, the vote is supposed to be today in the Senate for Amy Coney Barrett.
Right.
And he to do the officiating because they definitely got the vote. But he's supposed to be there to officiate it just as a formality. But so the Democrats wrote him a letter, a very respectful letter, saying, please don't show up because that's going to put everyone at risk. All the security, everybody in the chamber, because we don't know if he has it. Excuse me.
And so is he, what was the final outcome?
Girl, what you think?
He's going to go?
Do you know that, I don't know, over 100, maybe several hundred of Amy Coney Barrett's colleagues from Notre Dame sent her a very respectful letter saying, can you at least just wait until after the election out of decency? Is she paying attention? No. They're not paying attention. They're going to do what they want to do. So I don't know if he's going to show up.
And and it's interesting because he was the person who was over the whole COVID task force.
The irony of it all.
The irony of it.
Oh my God. I mean, he couldn't even protect home. So how is he supposed to be in charge of the country's well-being?
And so now they don't want to stop the pandemic.
Oh my God! What did Mark Meadows say this morning? You heard him, right?
Yeah, because it was.
And he's the chief of staff.
We're waiting for the vaccine, and we have all of these nutraceuticals, or a combination of drugs that can help COVID.
Right.
So we're not going to even try to stop the pandemic. I guess he was basically saying we can't stop the pandemic, so we're waiting on vaccines.
Yeah, I think the quote I heard was, we can't control it, so we're just going to wait for the vaccine.
Right.
What the hell? If they said that about the flu and polio
and cancer
and everything else.
And AIDS.
AIDS. Oh my goodness.
Don't wear that because we don't want to do that preventative care. We're just going to wait till there's there's always preventative care before you get the vaccine.
There's always mitigation. I mean, he won't even talk about a mask.
Right.
Okay.
And it's so wild because it's like, well, if you don't want to do anything preventative, I mean, what's going to happen when the numbers get out of control? Because they're going to get out of control.
They are, absolutely. This is going to be a bad Christmas for a lot of people. So all I can say, folks, is keep your immune system up. You got to. But so that's been, and he's going to do something like 3 rallies a day. Unprotected rallies, 3 a day. So to me, I think he's killing off all his voters. It is, the country is on fire with COVID right now. I don't know.
It's so divided that I don't blame the politicians for how they move.
Right.
I just wonder about the people that support particular politicians. You know.
For instance, we might as well go there, girl. We might as well. Well, a couple of them. We have a couple of prominent rappers.
So which one are we gonna talk about first?
Let's do the one that flipped. So we got one. We got one flipped, y'all.
We got one that flipped. Mr. 50 Cent.
Yeah. So did he explain why he was behind Trump in the first place?
So he wanted to support him because of taxes.
The taxes, okay.
And because Biden's plan will increase taxes for anyone who's making over $400,000 a year. So most of us probably will be affected.
Right.
But anybody over $400,000, they get taxed. So that's what his issue was.
Okay. And I heard that he had filed bankruptcy like 4 years ago.
But
so I guess he's a little gun shy for taxes.
But filing bankruptcy is just a way to protect you from your debtors. You still can have money. Don't mean you're broke.
He's of the Trump philosophy.
Exactly. So think about all the corporations that filed bankruptcy but never really closed.
Right. That's just to protect them.
That's just to protect them until they get their stuff in order.
So what happened with Mr. 50?
Oh, and then he said he was going to leave if Trump didn't become. He was like, he was considering.
Didn't hear that. See?
Yeah, he said he was considering leaving America if Trump wasn't president.
All right. Well, they can go together because Trump said he would leave the
country. I know, right?
He said, I'll buy your ticket.
Y'all both go.
One way.
But then I was listening to a radio show this morning, Ricky Smiley morning show, and he had mentioned how now 50 Cent is saying, man, forget Trump.
Oh, really?
Budge Trump.
Really? Why?
Because his ex-girlfriend talked to him.
Chelsea. I did hear about that.
Yeah,
Chelsea Handler. She said that she would pay his, it was all about the taxes, she would pay his taxes.
Right.
Okay. And that's all he needed to hear.
And I think she reminded him he was a black man.
Oh, wow. She's like, hey, go look in the mirror and tell us what you're going to do again. Is that? Oh, my God.
So she had to talk to him and convince him to do different.
Interesting. So now what's the situation with the other rapper?
That one's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a friend, and I was like, well, one is the timing is a little off.
Okay.
Because you could definitely have a plan, but you don't wait till, a month before an election.
Right.
One.
And we're talking about Ice Cube, y'all.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother thing. Why are you calling yourself Ice Cube and you're trying to be political?
You're a grown
that's
man.
like Pookie. Pookie's talking to the president.
That's right.
Pookie's talking to the president. It's
Pookie's running for Congress.
Can Pookie get a real adult name?
That's and he has a nice name. He needs to use it. Right. Yeah. That's true.
And so it's because Biden had a plan. It was if you went to the website, you could have seen his plan for Black America. So it wasn't like he didn't have a plan. But then for Ice Cube doesn't speak for everyone.
Right.
And I would just wonder, I don't know, do you know who helped him formulate the plan?
No, but here's what he did say is he put it out to both campaigns.
Right.
He never got a response back from the Democrats. The Trump campaign did come back to him. And so that's where, and they wanted to adjust it a little, but at least they gave him some airtime.
And they needed to because he's a celebrity?
I have no earthly idea, but they are definitely courting the black vote.
Yeah.
So his was called Contract with Black America.
Right.
Theirs is called the Platinum Plan. To me sounds like, an ad. Something that Madison,
well, he is
Madison Ave, right? That's very marketing. So the Platinum Plan, supposedly, I wrote some stuff down because I just wanted to understand a little bit better. They were going to supposedly give the black community $500 billion. I don't believe that. The reason I believe that, it's a lot of reasons, but this is the same administration that did away with any diversity and sensitivity training in the federal government.
Right.
Okay, so how sensitive and how much do they really care about us, okay? I mean, they did away with the agreement. I forget what it was called, some kind of decree that Eric Holder and Obama created with all the police departments around the country. All of them, they all bought into it. So they were creating, there was some kind of agreement that they would help reform they was doing some police reform. Well, he undid all that. Okay.
Right.
As soon as he got in the office, they said, you don't need that. You police don't need to be policed. So I just don't know how much weight you could put into that agreement.
500 million?
500 billion.
Billion. I'm sorry. It better be billion because billion wouldn't do anything.
These 13 points of Ice Cube's agreement, his contract. Some of them I don't really understand, and I really didn't see a whole lot. But it's like lending reform, federal funding, Federal Reserve, finance oversight. So that's a lot of financial stuff.
Right.
Data and credit. Prison reform. Why is prison reform number 7? Okay, that's a problem for me.
He's a millionaire, so he's concerned about the financial first.
Yes, it's all about the Benjamins. Isn't that his song? And judicial reform. They're way down there. Police reform. Those are way down at the bottom. And then Confederate institutions. I don't know what the AGP program is. And then black responsibility. Do you know what that means?
Well, black responsibility? Yeah. Our responsibility? I don't know exactly what that means. But you know what's, so, I mean, with him being a celebrity, you're trying to tell me no other political groups, black political groups that have been on the ground have been talking to
like
both
NAACP.
They haven't been communicating with the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. And so I think a lot of times we're so caught up in celebrity.
Yes,
of course. Because really they're visual. Because they're visual. And I think that everyone definitely deserves to have a voice.
For sure.
But is that really his lane when it comes to politics? Because we got someone in the office now who it wasn't his lane, and see where we are now.
See how that went. Right.
Exactly.
And his 2 highest advisors, they had no political experience. And I find that ironic, kind of off topic, but they are like beating to death the situation that Hunter Biden was the beneficiary of nepotism. What is Ivanka? What is Jared? It's like, what are you guys in Bizarro world? My head almost exploded when I was listening. I listen to Fox News a lot because I like to hear both sides.
Oh my goodness.
And they're going on and on about nepotism, and Biden doesn't know anything about that business. I'm like, is it me?
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's a crazy logic.
Today we are going to discuss topics that are in the news, if you can't tell already. And there's so many topics that we should have a really fun discussion.
Yeah, very robust.
So we'll be back in a few moments. We'll take a little break and we'll see what topics we have next to discuss. So come back and listen to us discuss hot topics on How You Living.
See you in a minute.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters. The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and you know, sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information. And you know, my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. You know, I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay?
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Welcome back to How You Living.
Hey guys.
I'm Dr. Kiva.
And I'm Robin B. And today we're just talking about the craziness that's going on in the news. We figured we'd kind of get caught up. And anyone who doesn't, if you're smart enough not to watch the news, well, we got it for you, okay? So, okay, one of the things, here's a positive, okay? Let's talk about something positive. Killer Mike, do you know who he is?
I know he's a rapper.
I had never heard of him before seeing him on Bill Maher. Now, Bill Maher likes to bring him on a lot, okay? I never heard him rap, don't know what kind of music
I've seen him on, he does some stuff on Instagram, and I thought he was very articulate, and it was pretty good.
He apparently is articulate because all the mainstream media shows have him on a regular. And I've never heard him rap, but I know he's very active in the community as an advocate. So one thing I did hear, along with Ryan Glover, who's the creator of Bounce TV, if you know what Bounce is.
I've heard of it,
Okay, it's pretty interesting. It's on, for anyone who's not on cable, it is like a regular TV's answer to BET. So there's a lot of black shows and black movies, and a lot of older movies, so some blaxploitation, but that's what Bounce is. So he's the creator of that, so he's in media. And then the other founder is Andrew Young, and you know Andrew Young because he's a prominent civil rights, and he was the ambassador to the UN. I think under Clinton maybe. So the three of them got together and decided to create the Greenwood Bank, and it's a digital bank, and it's their answer to trying to restore Black Wall Street. And most people know what Black Wall Street is, which was basically an area, community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where pretty much everyone there was an entrepreneur. They had some of the biggest banks there.
They even had planes.
They had their own planes. They were a very wealthy community, very wealthy.
Right.
And the way it ended up being burnt down in a race war. And do you know how that happened?
Yeah, because it was a black man who supposedly, I don't know if
he bumped into her on the elevator.
Yeah, and so
she screamed.
It bumped into a white lady.
Right.
And then it became something out of control.
Absolutely.
But what was interesting about the Tulsa was also the government, didn't they provide bombs, and they helped to bomb actually Tulsa, and it was from the sky.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So,
I did not know that.
And it was like over maybe 300 or so people that got killed.
People, yeah. And the reason it turned into a race war, because it wasn't just they were all victims. What happened was that young man was lynched, or they wanted to pull him out of the
train. I think
they wanted to pull him out. I thought out of jail, like a mob went to pull him out of the jail, and then three or several people from the black community from Greenwood came up with their guns, and they weren't having it. So that's what turned it into a race war. But they didn't have it. They did not win.
And then there was a lot of jealousy too on top of that.
That's where it all came from. They were looking for a reason.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, how dare you, black community, do well, and some of us when we're not doing as well.
And this was early 20s, so this was when it was unheard of.
But I think there were a lot of different communities that were like Tulsa, that were like Black Wall Street around America. This was just the one that we hear of.
Yeah, because of the tragic end. But I'm all for it. I would love to see it rebuilt. You know, we're going in that direction. There are probably more black entrepreneurs now.
With that $500 billion.
I don't. You know what? The day that shows up, I will shut my mouth. Okay. The day I see one penny from that $500 billion, I don't believe it's gonna happen.
And so, yeah, because that's a whole nother discussion. How there was so many fraudulent behavior with the other money that they sent out. But with Killer Mike, I mean, because once again, I think it's a great thing for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not new. There's other black banks that have been online, because I use One United.
Right, and that's a big one, very respected. Right, very well.
So what do you think is different from Killer Mike doing it, or is it celebrity?
Well, I think what he's trying to do is draw more attention to what a lot of people don't know about Tulsa. a lot of people don't know that there was a Black Wall Street, which really could empower people and really encourage them. If they understood we did it once before, we could do it again. We have more resources now.
Right.
So I think a big part of it is drawing the attention to Tulsa. One United is fantastic, but this is very targeted, you know. And
are they giving seed money to start?
Yeah, he said $3 million. They successfully raised $3 million. Apparently, people are very excited about it, and they said that they've received thousands of applications already.
Just to bank with them?
Just to bank with them.
Okay.
Just to bank with them. And one of his, he's been talking about this for a long time. That, what does it say, 20 days, the dollar circulates 20 days in the white community, and 15 minutes in the Black community? Easily. I mean, why is that?
Well,
so it's all about education too.
It's education, but you get your paycheck, and then if you need to go to the store, maybe the store isn't in the community, then you have to leave the community, or you're getting your nails done, so maybe the nail shops aren't in the community. You know,
I always try to understand what that meant when it says it circulates the community.
Because there's no way for us to spend money in the community, and that's why he had to go out of the community to circulate to other communities.
And that was by design, I believe so, because I mean that's why Tulsa was so successful.
Exactly.
Everybody had the business you needed. Everyone had the resources. If we could finally just get together and create another Tulsa, but a bunch of them all around the country, we could change that, you know?
Yeah, because it's you, and once again, even when it comes to before segregation. You know, the doctor was in the community. We had a guest who talked about that. Remember, talked about the doctor being in the community. Maybe it was Dirk.
Was it Dirk? Okay, or was it? It wasn't Dr. Carly.
It could, you know, so
I know we could have been anybody.
But so that's how it leaves the community because we don't have the resources inside of the community to spend the money.
Everyone within the inner city. Most of those small businesses are owned by other races. The nail place, the liquor store.
The liquor store, you know.
The clinic,
there's
whatever.
maybe no grocery store, you know, so we don't have the resources. So, and when you look at, when you say in the white community they stay in their communities because they have more access. You know, and I know people always hate to realize that it all, like, have you ever seen Black AF?
Yeah.
He always takes it back to slavery.
I've only seen it once or twice because I thought it was super black.
And because really, when the sad reality is when you have 400 years of free labor. And you know, our catch up, we're going to always try to catch up because we didn't have that 400 years of free labor. And then on top of that, we couldn't buy property. We couldn't buy property in certain areas. They would redline the property, and so we couldn't create value.
It's a beautiful design the way they have
it. So that's why we are where we are today. And so when you say that community is able to spend money in their community, it's because they have all the stores and everything in their community where we don't have it because we don't have the money to do those things.
And we don't seem to have the leadership either. And that's a big part of it. You need some leadership or else everyone's doing their own thing. But, you know, and that's where I guess King came in handy. Because at least he put everybody on the same trajectory. He tried to anyway, so that we all had the same focus. But right now, who's there?
But I mean, if we go back to Oklahoma, was there leadership there? I mean,
I don't. You know, that's a very good point.
They didn't have to have somebody to say,
wouldn't you love to know how they did that in the first place? I'd love to understand how that went.
Because it was probably a community development, like, hey,
us in the community,
let's make it.
You know? So with Killer Mike, I don't know. Is he going to be able to give low interest loans for small businesses?
That's a big part of it. Their whole focus is going to be making it a level playing field. We can get business loans. We can get, I mean, I'm sure the disparity for PPE, whatever was the paycheck, PPP, for protection program. The Paycheck Protected. It was just the disparity between the black businesses that got any of it and then the major corporations who had no business getting it, and then yeah, like Kanye, and if I'm not Jessica Alba, I think, who's a billionaire. So there was a lot of that going on. So they had trying to level the playing field. So yeah, with all the things, actually the things that Ice Cube's talking about, there's a lot there. Where we can get funding.
That's the Black responsibility.
Yeah, maybe that's what that is. So maybe why don't Ice Cube get with Killer Mike? They're both rappers. Work it out, bud. Let's work it out. Shoot.
Because wasn't it Killer Mike recently who bought like 87 acres of land?
It's very possible that somebody did. Somebody did. And you know who also is doing that? Now, Tyler Perry is a really great example of somebody who's doing positive stuff with his money.
Right.
He is really stepping up. And I'm telling you, if I were rich, I'd do the same thing.
So, I mean, what
really
is Tyler Perry doing? I mean, I know he has the studio.
No, but
what
he
else is he doing?
employing them. But something recently, maybe he was the one that bought all that land.
No, it wasn't Tyler Perry, for sure.
He did something significant recently. I know he did. And I'm sorry I don't know exactly what it is. But he is definitely stepping up, and he's the one who went and paid a lot of people's rent, because right when the referendum on evictions was going away,
right?
So he went and paid a lot of people's rent. And I wish I could remember more, but I'm telling you, he is being
so that's
he's an advocate for his community.
And then we go back to this whole thing with Ice Cube. Talking about Black responsibility, there's a lot of Blacks that are being responsible. Look at LeBron James.
That
with
man
the school
is a
and
wonderful.
so
and if he could get more people on board with what he's doing, it could be life changing. It really could be a game changer. But he's doing a hell of a lot. And who did he have to check? Somebody in the news, somebody in the sports arena tried to. And he snapped back at him real hard.
Not the one that said, "Let's keep playing basketball."
No. Oh. Yeah, shut up and dribble. She's dribbling all right. But I can't remember somebody in the sports area, and I shouldn't even bring it up if I don't know the facts. But basically, he gave a list of all the things he's doing with his millions of dollars, and he's doing a lot. So you're right.
Yeah. Are you really into sports?
Not at all.
Okay, me
That's
either.
my problem.
Me either. But what's interesting, just looking at it from someone who's not into sports, it seems like the basketball, they are able to have more of an opinion than football.
I noticed that too, but maybe it's because they don't have those brain injuries. No, that's not nice. I'm sorry, but that might be part of it.
No. I'm talking about from the owners.
From the owners,
not allowing
people.
Owners
are interesting. Yeah, they're definitely a different type. They don't, and I don't understand why, because they're still benefiting from their players. They should be invested in the same. Because
it's like football, you can't take a knee, but in basketball, if you watch, they were watching had T-shirts saying Black Lives Matter, and it's just like, I wonder what is that about.
That's a really
why is basketball so much more?
That's a very good opinion, but I mean, basketball
respectful.
They really are.
Yeah.
Baseball, I'm not sure about baseball.
I don't think baseball even know players
much
care.
About baseball. They don't care because I don't know how many. They ain't that many.
They ain't that many.
So it might they're like, we don't have any dog in this fight. So
I hope that the Killer Mike and his bank, I hope that they are very successful.
I hope so. I would support him. I have always once I learned about the Tulsa situation, I always had a dream that it would resurrect. I really did.
Robin had a dream.
That's right. I'm Robin King.
Robin had a dream.
Luther King.
Sound like that song from Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick had a dream. He says that.
I really do. I think that it would be an encouraging situation for people who don't know, especially kids.
Yes,
especially kids.
Yes.
But it seems like kids are also being a lot more responsible now.
Yeah, that's a whole different group. Yeah. The future.
Like, is it Generation Z? What are they? But what's the generation now?
I don't know. We'll look it up. It's so many.
Yeah,
I don't know why we got these names. Why we all had to have names.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it would be a beautiful thing. Like I said, if there were different little nuggets of Wall Street, which would help the United States just in general. One person succeed, we all succeed.
That's right. Right. It would help the country.
Yeah. So I don't understand why we don't want groups to be able to be sufficient.
So how do you feel? What would you feel if the election did go either go to Trump or it would just be so chaotic that we really wouldn't know who the president was.
On that note, I think we're going to take a little break because that might be a long discussion right there.
I don't know what to expect.
So we'll take a break and we'll come back and say maybe I'll give the response that Trump gave.
Okay.
We'll take a little break, and when we come back, we'll talk more election stuff and how we feel the turnout. So please come back and join us on How You Livin'.
Be right back.
We've been out of control since we got hit back in March 2020. Mortality rates keep climbing. Infection rates go up and down and then back up again. How long will this go on? No clear answer. Will a vaccine even be effective as this virus continues to spread and to mutate? No clear answers there either. I'm a trained nutritionist, herbologist, personal trainer, behavior modification and stress sciences expert. I'm also a COVID-19 and pneumonia survivor. I've watched the continuous wall-to-wall news coverage, and while yes, wearing a mask and social distancing are crucial now, you're not being given important tools that you need in order to fortify your first line of defense, your best line of defense, which is your own immune system. What's going on here? There are simple, affordable, and natural ways to help build your immune system to fight any virus or bacteria now, and it starts inside of you. That's why I need to invite you to join me for Beyond the Mask, an intimate talk about vital ways to immediately begin boosting your immune system. Are you worried about the potentials of a second wave? Are you concerned now that your immune system may not be strong enough? Let me show you now the changes that will allow you to optimize it. Let me show you how to maximize your exercise benefits in a 12-minute routine that you'll do every other day to easily increase your metabolism, strengthen your respiratory and immune systems, and give you better circulation throughout your body. Listen, sugar feeds both bacteria and viruses. Let me show you ways to kick that sugar addiction now and to get some weight off. Let me share with you keys to better nutrition that boosts your immune system. We are all under too much stress, and stress weakens your immune system. It single-handedly leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of health issues and infections because stress reduces your immune cell numbers and their ability to function. Let me show you tools that you'll easily integrate into your daily life now to naturally reduce your stress cortisol response. I also want you to know about some nutritional supplements that have been shown to naturally improve your immune system and your overall health. Since January, there have been over 700 studies released worldwide on the relationship between COVID-19 and vitamin D3 deficiency. You need to know why. You want to improve your own immune defenses now? Want to take back your control? Sign up today for Beyond the Mask and join me as I give you information and tools to easily get you back on track towards a healthier overall immune system now.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
And welcome back.
We're having a very lively discussion with one of our dear friends off camera.
Whenever you start to talk politics, it becomes very nasty.
It's like Thanksgiving with the uncle. But he's so young and adorable. That's the thing.
But the thing with politics, it's like, that's the things that we don't do at work. Don't discuss religion and don't discuss politics. Right. Because people emotional. Yeah, exactly. Because people vote for, of course, their interests.
Yeah.
And as a black woman in America, my interest would be to make sure that people don't get killed, that make sure that we are kind to people. That's my yoga aspect also.
That's good.
And politics isn't one where we are kind and considerate. Mm-hmm. But you were asking what would happen if the vote goes any particular way.
Yeah.
Emotionally for me, I know that whatever happens will be okay. Right. Whatever that looks like. We might, because right now, around the world, we look really not respectful as the America, home of the brave, and so awesome. Right. So I know that whatever happens, I think that the universal divine will take care of us.
You know what? I hear that all the time. And that's true. What's supposed to happen will happen.
Right.
And we can't get emotionally, we really can't get emotionally sick over this. Whatever happens, we have to deal with it. And that is the beauty of this country. When people say that, it's not rhetoric. It is true. We have withstood a lot.
Exactly. And so we'll be able to bounce back, whatever. And,
we'll have to.
And sometimes you have to go through the dirt.
Yeah.
To come out.
Right. Like that diamond. And
exactly.
Through all that.
So we're in the dirt.
We're right now, we are deep in the poop.
We're like the pigs in the slaughterhouse.
We really are. But you know what? By the end of this year, we'll know one way or the other. I hope we'll know one way or the other. It would be horrendous to drag out the
I don't think they would. I mean, how long did they do the whole Bush Gore thing? How long did that last?
Well, here's the deal. Bush
with the Chad
erroneously gave in. I think that was a mistake for him to. I mean, not Bush. Excuse me, Gore.
Gore.
He did that. He was, the bigger guy, and he said, for the sake of the country, I'm just gonna say, go ahead, go for it. Yeah. And what do we end up with? One of the longest war. No, the longest war in the history of this country. So
and they say that for the last 6 presidents, Democrats have run 6 times, or the last 7 Democrats have run 6 times off of the popular vote.
And that is the truth. And that is another reason why we need to do the electoral. I don't know why, but the electoral vote was based on somehow to disenfranchise the voters.
Right.
And I don't really understand how, but I know that it's completely unfair, because if 7 million people voted for you and 4 million people voted for the winner, there's a problem with that.
Exactly.
That means the people's voice are not heard.
And the other thing, they say that whenever a Democrat is in office, we actually have a better economy.
100%. 100%. Every single Clinton corrected the economy from Reagan.
Right.
Who was after him? Obama corrected the economy big
remember,
time.
He had to give to the. It was given a lot.
I mean,
for the
big
banks
time.
And auto industry and everything.
Saved the auto industry.
Exactly.
So that is true. So for them to say they're the fiscally responsible party is bull, because they run up the deficit bigger than anybody else. Now, one of my concerns is, a fair fight is a fair fight.
Right.
But if they put this new Supreme Court in and she is the deciding factor on who's going to be the president, there's no democracy left in this
I guess,
country.
but that's why you have to have numbers that are so high that there's no way to.
It has to be a landslide.
It has to be a
landslide.
landslide.
You hear that, people? If you care about your country, make it a landslide, please. Okay.
It has to be a landslide in order for that not to happen.
Yeah.
But now, what's interesting is because she'll probably get on, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The first thing that they're going to talk about is the Affordable Care Act.
They're going to do away with it.
I tell you what's funny about it. Remember how we were talking about if you have conditions, those
the pre-existing
conditions? COVID is a pre-existing condition.
That is the argument that Biden's been making.
And so,
I don't want to, I mean, that's the argument. And
exactly.
Those are facts. There's
There's
no lying. If you had COVID, you have a pre-existing condition because you probably will have underlying
lungs and heart and everything else. So if they get rid of, if they say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, So that means you have to go to your own private carrier for your insurance.
Right.
And then if you have some pre-existing conditions, they're not going
You're
to.
not going to get it. You're not going to
and it's going to be extremely high.
Oh, it's going to be
in the middle of a pandemic, they're going to make that decision.
And how do you even justify that as being humane? I mean, I'm confused about that. And on top of that, if they do away with Roe v. Wade, there's going to be a whole, because women are going to continue to get pregnant against their will.
And they're going to find other ways to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Because that's what they used to do before.
On top of everything else, there is so much on the line. There's so much, and those are just two big ones. We don't even know about all, I mean,
But now, what's interesting about even that is, one aspect is we're pro-life.
Right.
And so we don't want abortion.
Right.
The other aspect is
pro-death.
We're pro-death.
I knew you were going to say that, because that has been my thinking. I'm like, how do those two jibe together?
Because it's like, I don't want you to have a baby.
Right. We want you to have the baby, but we don't care.
We don't care how you take care of the baby, and if that baby has insurance once the baby is here.
100%. And then, we will kill you. We'll kill you. We believe in the death penalty. So it's just so hypocritical.
It's not true.
It's not logical.
Because if you're pro-life across the board.
You're right. So it's been, you are pro-life. So those two, but the thing is, nobody really has challenged them. They've not been challenged. That's a real simple one. I mean, it really is
simple. I mean, so when they're at one point, I do think the Republicans tried to say, well, we are, Christian. We are,
evangelicals.
I always mess
but
up that
now
word.
The evangelicals, some of them are backtracking. Some of them are saying, you know what, we got to draw the line somewhere, because at some point, we're going to have to meet our maker.
Exactly. So you can't support someone who is, talking about white supremacists, grabbing women, have baby mamas.
Baby mamas all over the place.
Now, if Obama has a baby
oh my God,
mamas.
he had one baby mama, just one. I mean, the worst thing the only scandal that they beat to death was his tan suit.
I know.
That is the stupidest.
But if he came in there with 3 wives and some
my God,
3
wives and 5
everybody.
children from 3 wives. I mean, daggone, really. But did you see him up on the stump last week? He finally let loose. Oh, you didn't see it?
I've heard
Obama
bits and pieces.
Let loose. Everything that he's been holding in for 4 years came spewing out, but spewing out very articulately, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, let it go, let it out, honey. You'll feel better. And so he's doing that. Release. So I'm like, you know how they always have an October surprise?
Right.
This week ain't over, girl. Let me tell you something. I would be shocked if and I hate we're beating, it's all about Trump today, but it is. It's the last week, okay? Maybe the last week of normalcy, what we've been dealing with as a new normal. I don't know.
Right.
But his niece, who had 18 hours of conversation with his sister, who dogged him out, she's saving it. She's waiting for the last minute. I really believe that.
You believe that?
I really do.
You don't believe it's Melania's double?
Oh no, that is. Oh, I wanted to talk about that. Oh my God. Okay, I saw the side by side. Twitter went crazy because the story is.
Well, tell us the whole story.
Okay, all right. So for the last several years, there's been this myth or rumor that Melania has a body double. And I seen her, but I'm like, no, she just looks different that day. So she always wears the glasses. She never shows her face. And so it helps that Melania wears sunglasses a lot. But we've seen her eyes. Well, on the way to the debate last week, they got a good look at her. So they're holding hands, which was a telltale sign right there.
Yeah,
and she don't like his hand. She knows where it's been. So they're holding hands. They get on the helicopter, and she's right there, and everyone gets a perfect close-up, and ain't no way, shape, nor form that was Melania's face. But it was her after the debate. So she shut up on her own, because after you knew it was her, because when he grabbed her hand, she knocked it away. I'm like, all right, that's Melania. So, yeah, Twitter went crazy.
They really. You, Melania has a backdoor deal.
Oh, she can't wait.
I bet you. Whenever he's out the White House, whenever that is, she's going to file for divorce and be out.
Absolutely. Did you hear the story of why she took so long to move into the White House?
I think because she was working on her prenup.
Yep. She was renegotiating.
She was like, let me renegotiate.
Because that's the perfect way to get. She had him by the left. She had him by the We'll say she had him by the finger.
She had him by the finger.
She had him by the eyeballs. How about that? So yeah, she won that one. But if you've seen the photos, you will agree. They've been using this. Who has the nerve to do that? What other president in the history of America would bring a body double on because his wife can't stand him so much? All right, we're gonna get a lot of
show.
We're gonna get a lot of email over this one.
So we're gonna take a little break.
And we're gonna breather. Yeah, and then we're gonna go positive. How about that? We're gonna find some positive stuff to talk about, so everyone's blood pressure can go down. So we'll be right back, guys. Give us a minute.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
And welcome back to How You Living. So today we're doing hot topics because there are so many hot topics, so much to talk about. And so we've gone into voting, we've gone into
dark recesses
the finance, we've gone into celebrity. So Robin promised some happy news. What you got for us?
It's not really positive. It's just not negative. How about that? So I only have like 3 shows that I like to watch, and I don't know why. Cause, well, I'm kind of serious, but I also like a lot. I like I call it blather. So when I'm home and
I
said, Jeff, I need to watch a little blather. He's like, okay, I'll go in the other room because he don't want to watch my blather. So some reality shows I find entertaining.
I think Jeff and I are about the
same.
Yeah,
you all are very much alike. Yeah, this is why you and I get along so well. You are the female version of my spouse. Yeah, exactly. She's my work spouse. So, so Ready for Love is a dating show which you probably never heard of before.
I haven't.
It's on the OWN channel. And I love it because it is basically a black version of The Bachelor. But it's better than that because there's a partner for everyone. So it's 20 people. It's 10 men and 10 women. And they play around. They have mixers. They see who gets along with whom.
Right.
And actually some very successful relationships have come out of that.
How long has this show been on?
This is the 3rd season. So I've watched it for the last 2 years. You can watch season 1 on Netflix.
Today.
It's so fun. So it came back, and what I love is so they went to Houston. Now they figured out a way to do it in Houston, even though we had COVID. So what did they do? They must have quarantined everybody, and now they're doing it sort of like, I've never seen Paradise Island, but they're all stuck in one place. So it's called Last Resort. So they've got all the contestants. I don't know if it's Lake Conroe, somewhere really beautiful, maybe.
Okay.
But everyone's from Houston, and I know 2 of the people.
Whoa.
That is what I said. I wanted to watch it because I said, there's no way I'm not going to know somebody because I know a lot of people.
And so these are people that don't know each other. They come together, and you happen to know 2.
And I happen to know 2. One of them, I knew it. Something told me she was doing something big. She used to be on this show. She used to be on this channel.
Wow.
Beautiful young lady. I liked her a lot. She had her own show.
Right.
And then all of a sudden she just came off the show. And I said, she probably got something going on. Well, she's one of the contestants. Very beautiful, very sharp. The other one, I screamed when I saw her because she was my branch manager at, I won't name the bank because I don't want to go there.
Right.
But she was a lovely lady. I loved her because she took very good care of me at my bank.
So how does the show, so it's like The Bachelor, do you get one couple and they're the couple?
They're going to throw everybody in the room and see where the chemistry goes. So these men are lucky because all the women are beautiful.
I mean, but
usually they have a couple of weirdos in there.
But what's the end game of the show in general?
Is at the end, thank you for asking that. So at the end, it starts with 20 people. It's going to end with 3 couples. So right now there are 10 couples, basically. 10 potential couples. And every week, I mean, you'll see it's not going to be a cat fight, but there's going to be some feelings hurt.
Are the dudes hot at least?
Yeah, so most of the dudes are hot, but there's some interesting ones. They have, and the other part is interesting.
I go straight to the dudes being hot.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy yourself. I saw more than one 6-pack on that show. Okay. One dude, he didn't even have a jacket on. Okay, he had like a 12-pack and I mean he didn't have a shirt on. Oh, so he had a jacket over his 12-pack was his shirt.
Oh, okay. So he's just trying to show out.
What happens every time, invariably, is most of the women like the same dude. Happens every time. It happened last season.
He's probably tall, successful, with a great body.
This one was a farmer. He has a great body.
Hey, I date a farmer in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he was a black cowboy. Basically, he's a cowboy. He said,
"Get my food.
You never have to worry about your car. He takes care of everything.
Food and car."
He was giving the girl a foot massage on the preview. So yeah, I think
he's the one to do.
He's the one to do. If you want to use that phrase,
wanted dude.
I thought you said he's the one to do. Well, they're gonna say he's the one to do. I guarantee you. So hopefully they have a clinic on site.
Oh, that's cool.
It was fun. I'm telling you.
Why they need a clinic on site?
Because if they're all doing the nasty with each other.
Hopefully they're not.
You don't know, did they check them all for STDs? They only checked them for COVID.
Hopefully not. It's not that type of show.
Shoot, if it ain't. Let me tell you, on the reunion, girl, I can't even tell you what she said. That's how nasty she got. Because he picked another girl, and so she went and told all his stories.
You know, we're gonna say positive, so I'm not gonna put my negative. I was about to put something. Go left on that one. I'm gonna say positive.
That's my guilty pleasure. Okay, that's my guilty pleasure. Is a little bit of celebrity. Okay, I enjoyed that.
You know, I'm when it comes to TV, I don't even like series.
You don't watch TV
because I don't want to sit there and
every single time I've asked you, did you watch that? And you said no.
Let's see, what do I watch?
What do you watch? What do you watch?
I watch
nature shows.
I will.
Anything that's peaceful. Anything that's going to keep your zen in check.
I watch
right?
animals fighting.
Okay. Well, that's like Wild Kingdom.
No, not that type. Like, oh, look at the puppy.
Oh, well, Lord have mercy.
So cute.
Oh, you mean like fighting like this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have fish?
I do not.
Okay.
I have plants.
Okay.
I talk to my plants like, hi, plants.
I know you do, girl.
How you doing?
I know you do.
So is that the only
let me see. What was it?
Story?
Well, yeah. This one, it's celebrity. It's not upbeat. Well, it's upbeat for her. Shonda Rhimes. You heard about Shonda Rhimes? Do you know who she is?
I know who she is.
Okay, so she basically put ABC Network on the map with Grey's Anatomy and all those other shows. How to Get Away with Murder. So I think she was renewing her contract, and the headline was ABC loses Shonda Rhimes over $154 ticket to Disney. Have you heard about that?
No.
Okay, this is weird. Now, it's weird that she's begging for a ticket, okay, because she's a multi-millionaire. But she has this thing with, I think she has something called Shondaland that she was creating, I think. But she has this deal where the network would give her free tickets for her and her family to go to Disneyland. And she wanted to bring her nanny and she wanted to bring her sister. So she asked them for an extra ticket and they said, okay. And when she got there was no ticket. And so she called the executive and said, hey, where's my ticket? My $154 ticket. And apparently they said, don't you have enough? Ooh. That's like saying, aren't you basketball players grateful for your job?
Did you vet that story? Do we know?
No, yeah, it's a fact.
Really?
This really happened. This was like on CNN or something. It really happened. So with that being said, she called her attorney and said, go ahead and sign up with Netflix. I'm done. So what do you think about that?
Well,
I think it was a principal for her.
I think it was a
'cause
principal.
She could afford it.
And we don't know how that whole interaction, because if someone is, especially you, if someone comes to you the wrong way,
well,
you're like,
I don't agree. Yeah, I am a big fan of justice. I do not believe you got to treat everybody right.
And then plus,
I don't know how they said it with her, but I agree with you.
Maybe it's just one.
You get one chance.
One little, it's like you keep pecking
yeah.
and pecking and pecking and pecking. And it's like, hey, I gave up so much to do here. And now you're gonna bug over this after I gave up all
I think
this.
that was her point. She put them on the map, and they are going to regret the day. She's good at making people regret. I don't remember. Do you remember the actress that she? What's her name? Heidi? No, what's her name?
I can't think of it.
Maybe it's Heidi.
It's gonna come all of a sudden when I get in the car.
Yeah, and she begged to come back. Shonda said, "You only get one chance to screw me over," and that's what happened. That's what happened.
At least that's just what happened.
That's what happened.
At least we ended on a
was that well, we didn't go deep into who cares about Hollywood, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if there was
Melania's who gives a flip about Hollywood? I don't. So basically,
at least we ended on a we won't have the rest of the day stressed out. We'll be happy.
We won't. Hopefully you guys go do some research, see if I was lying about Shonda Rhimes, okay?
And call us out.
Yeah, and really, hopefully next week will be.
No, this was awesome.
No, I'm saying hopefully next week we won't be stressed out. From 1 week from tomorrow, we're gonna know what's up.
Hey, how you living? You live for today.
That's right. Oh, that's good, girl.
I know. I just came up with it.
I need you.
I just came up with that one.
Okay, she's gonna keep me level-headed.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to us on How You Living for our Hot Topic Monday.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We'll probably do this a lot more frequently. So
because the topics are hot.
Yeah, and especially from now until the end of the year at least. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful week. And as always, we got to know how you living.